you women out there, y'all petty, man. Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. Y'all petty, girls.
There's been so much negativity, and a lot of it is just petty jealousness.
Charles Barkley just lit the WNBA on fire, and Angel Reese is right in the middle of it. After weeks of controversy surrounding Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, the league finally released its investigation results. And let's just say, they found nothing.
Y'all should be thanking that girl for getting y'all ass private charters, all the money and visibility she bring into the WNBA.
No misconduct, no racism, no proof of anything that Angel Reese and her defenders claimed. But instead of calming things down, that announcement only made Barkley more furious.
What she's accomplished, give her flowers. Stop being petty, all you women out there. She got y'all ass charters. She bringing all y'all this money to the table, but y'all being petty like dudes.
He didn't hold back. He didn't sugarcoat it. And when he spoke, he made one thing very clear. Some players in the WNBA are letting jealousy destroy the league's biggest opportunity in years.
This girl is incredible. The number of attention, eyeballs she's brought to college and the pros, and for these women to have this petty jealousness, you say to yourself, damn, what is going on here?
So why did Barkley go off? Why is Angel Reese being dragged into the firestorm? And what does this mean for the future of Caitlin Clark, the Fever, and the WNBA as a whole? Let's break it all down. And trust me, it gets even more chaotic from here. It all started with a blowout. The Indiana Fever crushed the Chicago Sky 93-58 in what should have been a celebration. Caitlin Clark dropped a triple-double, fans packed the arena, and the WNBA was buzzing. But instead of talking about the game, the headlines were hijacked by a storm of accusations. Angel Reese and others suggested that Clark was being protected, and then came the bombshell. Claims that Indiana fans had shouted racist remarks during the game. Just like that, the WNBA launched a full investigation. And for nearly a week, the narrative shifted completely. The focus wasn't on Clark's historic performance. It wasn't on the Fever's dominance. It was on unproven allegations and internet outrage. And while the league promised to get to the bottom of it, Charles Barkley was already calling it out for what it was, a distraction, a massive one. Instead of building on a huge moment for the WNBA, they're turning it into chaos, he said. Where's the proof? The story was exploding across social media, but Barkley wasn't having it. He saw it coming from a mile away, and what he said next would put him on a collision course with Angel Reese and anyone backing the narrative. The moment the investigation hit the news cycle, Charles Barkley didn't wait for the league's findings. He jumped in, and he came in swinging. On national TV, Barkley dropped the hammer. He called the whole situation petty, jealous, and flat out bad for business. But he didn't stop there. He turned directly to the players stirring the controversy, and Angel Reese's name wasn't far from his mind. Some of these players need to stop being jealous, he snapped, and start being grateful for what Caitlin Clark is doing. For this league, it wasn't just criticism, it was a full-on reality check. Barkley's tone was sharp, frustrated, and crystal clear. This investigation, these accusations, this entire drama, it was overshadowing the most exciting moment the WNBA had seen in years. Caitlin Clark was pulling in record crowds, a triple-double in her rookie season, national attention the league had been begging for. And instead of celebrating that, Barkley argued, some players were too focused on tearing her down. He didn't sugarcoat it. He didn't soften the blow. Barkley said the quiet part out loud, that all this noise wasn't about justice or safety. It was about jealousy, and it was holding the entire league back. This league finally has a moment, and y'all are ruining it, he said, visibly fed up. But then Barkley took it one step further, because to him, this wasn't just about false accusations. It was about how the WNBA let this whole thing spiral in the first place. Charles Barkley had made his frustration loud and clear, but now he backed it up with facts, and the message was simple. Caitlin Clark isn't just helping herself, she's helping everybody. Steph Curry didn't make people jealous, Barkley said. He made people money. That was the comparison. He flat out called Clark the Steph Curry of the WNBA, not just a star, but a movement. He pointed to the numbers. Ticket sales up 93%, draft night viewership up 400%, national TV slots, viral highlights, sellouts in cities that had never even cared before. That girl's putting money in your pockets and y'all are mad at her? Barkley asked, practically stunned. He wasn't just talking to Angel Reese, he was talking to every WNBA player treating Clark like the enemy. Because to Barkley, this wasn't about personal ego, it was business. Clark wasn't stealing the spotlight. She was dragging the whole league into it with her. And what bothered him most, Clark hadn't even fired back. Through all the negativity, she stayed quiet. No interviews, no drama, just playing ball and elevating the game while others tried to tear her down. She hasn't said a word, Barkley pointed out, but some of these girls act like she's the problem. He paused, then hit them with the line that stopped everyone in their tracks. Y'all should be saying, "Thank you, Caitlin Clark," not coming after her. But this wasn't just about the players anymore. Barkley had a few choice words for the league itself. And what he said next exposed an even deeper issue. If Barkley was frustrated with the players, he was furious with the league. Because when the WNBA finally released the results of the investigation, it confirmed exactly what he had been saying from the start. Nothing happened. No racist comments. No misconduct, no hostile crowd behavior. The accusations, totally baseless. But here's the kicker, not a single apology, no acknowledgement, no, "we got it wrong." Just a cold, carefully worded statement from the WNBA saying the claims weren't substantiated. And that was it. For Barkley, that silence said everything. "So you accuse an entire fan base, find nothing, and you don't say sorry," he said, shaking his head. "That's how you lose people." Indiana Fever fans were furious, and rightfully so. They showed up, supported their team, watched history happen with Caitlin Clark's triple-double, and walked away being painted as villains on social media for a week. And when the dust settled, they were just expected to move on to Barkley. That wasn't just unfair, it was dangerous. "You're a niche league trying to grow," he warned. "You can't afford to alienate the people buying tickets. Fans don't forget being falsely accused, and they definitely don't forget being ignored afterward." Barkley said it flat out. The league had one job: protect the momentum, protect the fans, and they blew it. But it wasn't just about bad PR. Barkley believed this misstep could have real consequences. What happens when a league sides with controversy over its own supporters? You lose trust, and once that's gone, good luck getting it back. Indiana Fever fans were already boiling, but when the investigation cleared their name and the league offered no apology, something snapped. Online forums lit up with calls to boycott games. Longtime supporters said they felt betrayed, like they were thrown under the bus to protect a narrative. Some even vowed they wouldn't attend another WNBA event outside Indiana, and Barkley saw it coming from day one. "You let baseless claims dominate the headlines," he said, "and now your most loyal fans are turning their backs." This wasn't just anger, it was backlash. The very people showing up, buying merch, and watching the games were now questioning whether they even mattered to the league. Fever fans felt like scapegoats, while the league's silence came off as cowardice. "This is how y'all treat new fans," one user wrote. "Don't be surprised when we stop showing up." Barkley warned that this kind of damage doesn't go away overnight. A controversy like this doesn't just vanish, it leaves a scar. And when your league is finally starting to rise, one bad headline can set you back years. But Barkley didn't just stop at defending the fans, because in his eyes there was still a much bigger issue looming, the jealousy eating the league from the inside. To Charles Barkley, all the noise, the finger-pointing, the fan accusations, it all came down to one thing: jealousy. Not just frustration, not competition, but flat-out resentment from players who couldn't handle someone else becoming the face of the league overnight. "These girls gotta grow up," Barkley said. "You can go at Caitlin Clark on the court, but off the court, she's the best thing that's ever happened to the WNBA." And that's where he dropped the truth most people were too scared to say. Caitlin Clark wasn't stealing attention, she was earning it. She showed up, packed arenas, boosted ratings, and made the whole league money. And instead of embracing that, some players chose to push back. "She's not taking food off your table," Barkley added. "She's putting more on it. The stats prove it. Viewership has exploded by 180%. Ticket sales jumped 93%. Sponsorships are rolling in. And guess who's at the center of all that momentum? Not the veterans who've been grinding for years. Not the loudest voices in the locker room. Caitlin Clark." And Barkley's message was simple. You don't have to like it, but you'd be crazy not to take advantage of it. Because here's the hard truth. This kind of buzz doesn't last forever. And the longer the WNBA wastes energy on petty drama, the more likely they are to miss their shot at mainstream success. "You've got lightning in a bottle," Barkley said. "Don't drop it because of ego." But as Barkley pointed out next, this wasn't just a cultural moment. It was a data-backed revolution, and the numbers told a story that couldn't be ignored. Barkley wasn't just making noise, he had the receipts. Because when you look at the numbers behind Caitlin Clark's arrival in the WNBA, the impact is staggering. Start with this. Draft night ratings shot up 400%. That's not a bump, that's a tidal wave. Then there's ticket sales, up 93% across the league. Regular season viewership, up 180%. And Clark's jersey? The #1 seller by a mile. She's not just moving the needle, Barkley said. She is the needle. Her presence turned the Indiana Fever, a team that struggled for relevance, into a national storyline overnight. Cities that had never sold out women's games before are now packed. Merchandise is flying off shelves. Corporate sponsors are finally showing up. And get this, Caitlin Clark and the Fever alone accounted for nearly half the WNBA's total broadcast value this season. That's right, one team, one player, carrying the media weight of an entire league. What she's doing is 5 years of growth in 5 weeks, Barkley explained, and he wasn't exaggerating. Before Clark entered the league, the WNBA was growing, but slowly. Year-over-year viewership was up just 20%. Ticket sales? Around 16%. Solid, but nothing like this. With Clark, everything skyrocketed. According to projections, it would have taken the WNBA until 2029 to hit the levels they've already reached in 2024. And here's the crazy part. She's still a rookie. This is the kind of once-in-a-generation momentum most leagues dream about. And Barkley's point couldn't have been clearer. You don't fight that, you fuel it. But with the numbers this strong and the opportunity this rare, the big question remains, can the WNBA stop the drama and finally capitalize? Charles Barkley didn't just snap because of one controversy. He snapped because he sees what's at stake. The WNBA has a chance, a real one, to finally break into the mainstream, to grow salaries, to secure better TV deals, to elevate women's sports in a way we've never seen before. And it's all being made possible by one player, Caitlin Clark. But instead of rallying around her, some players are turning her into a target. Instead of protecting their own fans, the league pushed a narrative it couldn't even prove. And in the middle of it all, Barkley saw the writing on the wall, that if the WNBA keeps letting jealousy and drama lead the conversation, they'll squander the biggest opportunity they've ever had. Caitlin Clark is changing the game for everybody, Barkley said. And if you can't see that, you're part of the problem. This isn't about one player getting attention, it's about the entire league finally getting the spotlight and deciding whether to use it or blow it. So now the question isn't just about Caitlin Clark. It's about what kind of league the WNBA wants to be. Do they double down on growth or keep getting in their own way? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, Barkley's not the only one watching. If you think Barkley was right to call it out, hit that like button and let us know in the comments. Should the WNBA be backing Clark more, or is the backlash justified? Make your voice heard, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that cut through the noise.